Hello, Big Res. We're back for part 3. It just keeps getting funner all the time. All right, so what else do you need to know? All right, so I'm going to draw this graph on a sheet of graph paper. I got Muskegon High School, Freddy's house, and downtown. So if I want to know the distance between MHS and Freddy's house, that's a possible thing. And let's say each of these is 1 mile, okay? So first of all, I'm going to connect a line segment between MHS and Freddy's house. I'm going to make my triangle. So this is 3, and this is 3. All right, to figure this out, I'd use Pythagorean theorem. 3 squared plus 3 squared equals c squared. This is 9 plus 9 equals c squared, or 18 equals c squared. And I take the square root, and the distance is, let's see, the square root of 18 is about, I think, if I do this correctly, 4.2 miles, because we want to measure it in miles. Now, if I'm wrong, there's a donut point there for you. So make sure you tell Mr. Fischel if there's a donut point. Double check his work. All right, so the next thing is, let's say we have a rectangle. And I'm going to draw a picture that looks like a rectangle. Now, you guys know what rectangles are. You probably talked about rectangles when you were in elementary school, right? So everybody should know that a rectangle has 4 right angles, right? So I'm drawing in these rectangles here. Ignore that little part there. That's not a donut point, but anyway. Rectangle has 4 right angles, and let's call this D, E, F, and G. Okay? Now, let's say the slope of DE is equal to negative 5 over 2. And let's say I want to figure out the slopes of the other sides. Well, I know the sides that are parallel are going to be the same, right? So the slope of GF is going to be negative 5 over 2. They're going to be the same because these are parallel to each other, right? But since these are perpendicular, they're opposite reciprocal slopes. So the slope of EF is going to be opposite reciprocal, so it's going to be flip these and make it the opposite sign, so take away the negatives. So it's 2 over 5. And the slope of DG is also going to be 2 over 5. So make sure you know that stuff. Now, there are also a couple other questions on there that deal with angles. So let's kind of go over one example of angles. So let's say we have a Doc Gardner is on the announcements right now, so I'm going to try to talk loud enough so you can hear me. Nope, the announcements are over now. Okay, this is my planning period in case you couldn't tell. So let's say we have 2 angles right here. Let's say this is 2x plus 3 degrees, and this is 4x plus 7 degrees. Well, I know that these two type of angles are consecutive interior angles, so they add up to 180. So I could take 2x minus 3 plus 4x plus 7 equals 180. And then I solve. So add the x's together. I have 6x. Add the negative 3 and plus 7. I get plus 4 equals 180. Subtract 4 from each side. I'm left with 6x equals 176. And divide by 6, and I get my answer. All right, so it's going to be, let's see, 29.3 approximately. If I'm wrong, that's a donut point. Okay, let's flip this over. Let's try a couple more here. I'm going to do this without a ruler, so I can do it a little faster. Okay. Let's say I have something like this. I have 3x plus 6, and I have this is going to be 42 degrees. So since these are alternate, if these lines are parallel, alternate exterior angles are equal. So I take 3x plus 6 equals 42. Subtract 6 from each side. I'm left with 3x equals 36. Divide by 3. X equals 12. Good. Oh, last but not least, got one more question for you here, okay? And this is, let's say this is x. This is 4x plus 5 degrees. And this is 2y minus 10 degrees. Notice there are two variables here. The first thing I have to do is do my x's first. So I have 5x plus 5 equals 180. Subtract 5 from each side, and I have 5x equals 175. Divide by 5, and I'm left with x equals, let's see, that would be 35, if I'm not mistaken. Now, why do I have to solve for x first? Well, I can plug that x back in over here, right? So now I know that this angle is 35 degrees, and I know that these two angles add up to 180. So I could take 35 plus 2y minus 10 equals 180. I combine like terms, so I have 2y plus 25 equals 180. Subtract 25 from each side. I'm left with 2y equals 155. And I divide by 2. I get y equals, let's see, what is this going to be? That's going to be 77.5. All right, there you have it. You're done with what you need to know for the test, unless you are honors, and then honors you have one additional video to watch. Sorry, honors classes, but geometry classes, this is what you need to know for your geometry test. Have a great day, and go Big Reds!